to Summoner's Rift. Minions have spawned.
Unwavering judgment.
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed. team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay, and yes, it looks like we are. Okay, finally, we're in the game. We're in the game.
Yeah.
We are in the game, and it looks like that this might just be getting rounded out. It looks like it is Albert's Inferno versus the side of New York Nutbusters as a great team fight coming in from the side of Albert's Inferno. As both sides are beginning to, as Albert's Inferno with the Baron push. Just getting this game, but it looks like this Varus is extremely powerful. The long is not able to do much. Maybe something he actually does. Daniel finding Draco on the end of that. So really nice play coming out from him. As it looks like he might be able to hold on a bit more longer in this game. But with this Mountain Soul, this is going to be do anything. Psycho Carrot going in. It looks like, yeah, he is going to be going in on Omar. Omar is going to give himself a safety. And Albert there for Omar's safety. As it looks like he actually might just send it. And Psycho Carrot going in. And it looks like all the members of the New York Nutbusters are unable to do anything. And actually, Daniel getting taken out on the end of it. However, Psycho Carrot falling down to, Omar falling down to Psycho Carrot. So not bad, getting some kills for New York Nutbusters and trying to keep themselves in this game as things have devolved. It looks like quite a degree.
Yeah, I mean, really good 2-for-1 for there on New York Nutbusters after losing the Soul. And I think Soul is a pretty big deal for the LeBlanc, but I think besides that, Irelia and Yunara are going to be doing such consistent DPS that I think they should end up being fine. This Garen is going to be a huge problem though. Has 3 crit items complete, and I think he's going to shred and lose
The problem with Garen, however, he is not very lucky. Blake taking him down, another kill went over as looks like that. Not much else is going to come out of that, but Canuck falling down, and even though with like the strength of his items, he's not that strong. The 2v1 quite just yet, and it's like that. Aurelia is getting stronger and stronger as Blake is becoming more of a side lane threat. However, for the side of Albert's Inferno, at this point, at this stage in the game, I think that you're really going to want to try to play as best as you can. Just keep this Varus alive. I mean, look how strong Rift is on this Varus. Like, he's like he's gonna have like, you know, the 6th item maybe soon. And it looks like that Omar actually doing a really nice trick to get him out of himself out of there maybe. And Lasan Frozen Team is gonna get burned, and we're gonna all burnt on top. But it looks like that's just gonna be, they're gonna be all alone and picked off. Not what you're gonna want to see with Albert's Inferno, especially when you have such an advantage in the game. And it looks like that they might be able just to siege down this bot side and get an inhibitor possibly. As look, being caught by the chain. So he'll keep himself safe. But able to clear out the wave almost instantly.
Really crushed for Albert's Inferno though. I feel like Amumu's been such like just a solution to all their problems. And if they're not winning their game with Amumu, I think it's going to be really hard for this team. I think it's Albert's best performing champion consistently.
Yeah, and I mean, I will admit I did like watch the game very early before like we went live, but he actually hit a nasty like 5-mana move ult. It was like crazy. You had to see it. But like Canuck getting engaged on here, pushing too far ahead, and you see your Nutbusters. I'm not sure why you're trying to push out and with multiple members of your team dead, but now it's like Albert's Inferno forced into a 4v5. Not what you want to see at all. As so this game might be needlessly extended for a bit longer. At this point in the game, I mean, I think this like what you really need to do is you actually need to like try to like get as strong as you can. Lysandra needs to complete. I'm actually not quite sure what she's putting with the haunting guys.
Maybe Leon.
I guess I don't think you really want them.
I don't know what tank. I'd expect it to be
I think
something else.
I think at that point. Okay. I think at that point you really just want your Tentacle, you know, to use some more pen or like even a oh yeah, I forgot the name of it. The pen item that heals you. As it looks like that, it looks like Blake's just going in onto Rift, flashes out, and they're going forward, but Plain Bagel gets caught up in the mix of it with a nice Amumu ult on top. Blake gonna get taken down. Psycho Carrot strong, but not strong enough to keep his team safe. Canucks just on top of them, spinning to win it. As it looks like a Psycho Carrot maybe going down, Lift getting himself to safety, and it looks like another Baron going over to the side of Albert's Inferno.
Well, if you know anything about Psycho Carrot, this motherfucker is going to try to steal this. I don't know how well that's going to pan out for him, but he does have the GA, so maybe he can pull off something weird.
He's trying to get as close as he can, and I think that just turn off the W out. Okay, you know, it's fine. You get the kill. Doesn't pick up. In comes so long. Any looking for a steal? No. Smite is good from the side of Albert. Lift Flash having to flash away. That's a result of that play. Not able to get the steal with the LeBlanc damage. And I'm not sure if you saw.
Here, though, Carrot did a really good job of stalling out for his team to respawn. All three of them are up within 15 seconds.
All three of them are up. But I'm not sure if you saw the Garen. I mean, just walking into the backline, just like pressing E, and just churning up like both like Plain Bagel and Archive. Despite realizing, as it looks like that they're just gonna look for like an all you can do anything team fight here, and they're not hitting the Nexus because they're hitting the champions. But the Archive is free firing and taking multiple members down. And it looks like they've completely stuffed this ending. A triple kill going over Archive. Lift taking down Alberts at the end. The Nexus is on a few minutes. Draco's marching forward. Can Lift stop her? No, he can't do anything. He just has to sit in the chair and watch as Draco takes down the Nexus. A complete fiesta to end that one. Oh.
That was brutal.
That was brutal. That was so sad. You just had to watch, and he could do nothing because of the Morgana shield. She just took the Nexus. Man, oh man. Yeah, we got into.
I think there's been discussion of concern about how well. I think their next draft. Oh, he typoed. It's supposed to be 10:12. He said 10:02. Threw me off. Their next draft should be in about 4 minutes. It looks like New York Nutbusters picked Red Side, and I think there has been a lot of discussion about if Brian's going to be able to perform, but he's not even playing today. And I think Rift showed up and did an absolute banger job on Varus. Picking the AP build was actually the one that got nerfed. So that's pretty impressive, IMO. But
yeah, interesting
good
enough.
Going from Canuck on the Garen too. It looked like he hinted away a couple deaths, but bounced back pretty quickly and made short work of those team fights.
Yeah, a bounce back indeed, and it I mean, I got to the game and I instantly was like, welcome to like, you know, just over 20 kills on both sides, and a movie to just like hit a 5-man ulti. So it was already kind of like I already knew like I was like watching peak. But I mean, yeah. I mean the game kind of like was like just swinging back and forth like for a bit there. But at the end of the day, a nice job on Albert's Inferno actually able to close it out with the key like, you know, team fighting, and I think Blake was like so strong, it looked like in that game, but not able to get it done. I mean, Aurelia is like just such a difficult champion to like pilot like efficiently as well. I mean, if you're not able to like to stay like alive like long enough in like team fights, and you just get CC'd, you like feel kind of useless. And if you mess up once where like your Q, like you don't get your Q reset, then like it just feels even worse, like because you just lose so much damage and like so much of like your tempo that you normally have.
Yeah, I mean, Albert clutching once again on the Amumu. I think the Garen as a new champion that we get to see from Canuck was fun, and the Morgana, very consistent performer for Draco. Not always the best KDA wise, but the impact on the game is always massive. Omar pulling up Lissandra, I think we've seen it a decent amount from before, but it's definitely lower on the list for him. So I'm excited to see if he'll pour out some of his more signature champions going deeper into the series. I did not catch the first draft though, so I don't know how many of them got banned out. But the Omar lift match, like Omar versus Daniel, is a really exciting matchup. I think people are not sure how the two match up, so getting to see that for kind of the first time here is really exciting. All BRB.
All right, and it's gonna be quite exciting. I mean, it's gonna be quite exciting. I mean, I'm curious to see like what they try to like run here, like NYNB. I mean, things did not work out for the side of NYNB. Albert's Inferno getting the better of them in these games, as things did not go their way and did not go how they expected for the side of NYNB. But I think that they were able to pull it back. I mean, it seems that Rift looked really, really strong on this Varus pick. Was able to just do a lot of DPS and also live for a long amount of time as well. I mean, he just had so much HP and did so much damage that there wasn't really like any way they could deal with him. I mean, even the Aurelia, we even saw like the Aurelia and Rakan both diving on top of the Varus. The Varus still like is able to like limp away to safety and able also to get off a lot of damage with Blake falling down like at the end of that, at the tail end of one of those team fights. But interesting to see like Albert's Inferno's like, I guess like their approach to draft. I mean, Albert, like the Amumu pick is gone, but he probably is going to have a lot more other ways of like, you know, picking. We'll start to see like, you know, like test, as it looks like the draft is going to be beginning with first pick on the side of Albert's Inferno. And it looks like, yes, they are going to be blocking in something. Okay, there it goes. The J-Span. So J-Span taking it away from the side of NYNB. They have a lot of flexibility. Both Daniel and Blake can both play the champion. So it's a good idea to take away that champion. You don't really want like, you know, someone who has like a lot of experience like on like a champion that they're comfortable with. Let's remove the comfortability, make them a bit more uncomfortable, have to like pull out some more picks that they have. As NYNB trying to figure out what they want to ban in response. It looks like they're going to opt in taking down Albert's Lilia, which is going to respond with a GP ban, notably targeting Blake, preventing him from being able to pick that up easily. As I wonder if they are going to target Omar's Akali here, or even Canuck's Aurora, which has been actually seen to be very devastating in the games that Canuck has been able to get that pick. It's just a really strong like champion. Canuck's very good at it. Skarnaban actually, however, is going to be targeted on the side of NYNB. And when you do lose the game, it is very like, you know, it is. Sometimes you do just want to change up your draft strategy because maybe you like feel like, oh, this didn't work in this one game. Let's change it up and do this now. And I'm not sure if that can always be correct because, you know, like sometimes in draft, I mean, okay, there's almost a Kali. Looks like that they're hovering and thinking about taking it away. But there are times like when you do lose a game and like you're like, oh man, our first three brands, let's change them up. And I don't think it's always the case that you should change up because maybe your first three brands are correct, but there are like other factors that like cause you to lose other than like the opening bands. It looks like they are going to opt into Echo here, so I'm not quite sure who. I think that is going to be Omar's Echo. It looks like Jinx locked in for Archived as a Poppy pick as well, which is a very flexible pick on this team. I know that multiple members of NYNB can play this team, so very nice pick. It also like is also really good pick into Echoes, prevents him from doing his phase dive and preventing him from like just making it or just preventing him from basically diving onto the backside and taking down members. So nice pick. Also preventing future Dash champions from being picked in for Albert's Inferno. So we will see like how this ends up panning out. And it looks like that Draco Draco Soraka, an all-time classic. This is one of her most comfortable picks. A pretty good champion, actually, into champions that like to use their abilities a lot. So it's going to prevent certain engage tools are like going to be a lot harder to play with the Soraka, like with a Soraka in the game. You're going to need a lot higher amount of damage, and you're probably going to want a easy like a source of application of anti-heal, because the champion is kind of just the heal champion. As a Caitlyn going over to Rift, so we will be able to see what he is like on this champion. As a Tahm Kench, probably logged in for support. However, the notable thing is if you do lock in the Tahm Kench, it does slightly kill the flex, as like now like you can't just flex the Poppy to support. But I'm not even sure if you really need a Tahm Kench here. I don't like Tahm Kench. I think Soraka is actually really good into the champion, and not only that, but it's very easy for Tahm Kench to just like prevent it from moving, and he has to like battle against like Soraka and Caitlyn traps, and not only that, but it's not very easy for Tahm Kench to get on top of Caitlyn. So it's also like you're kind of like prevented from playing aggressively, and playing defensively isn't like how you ideally want to play Tahm Kench. But some good bans coming out here from the side of both Alberts and NYNB, notably targeting any like sort of like flex slash like mid pool champions, as they do take away Gwen and Rise, as it looks like an Azir locked in inside NYNB. Daniel going on to Azir, looks like he's going to be trying to play the champion. Cassio and Hui, however, banned for Albert, so, or not Albert, but Omar, but we will see how that ends up playing into this draft.
Yeah, this looks like a giga comfort draft for NYNB. They're getting a bunch of champions they're super comfortable on, and actually banning out their own Hui, so it can't be denied from them later in the series due to Fearless, which I think is really interesting. Although the set falling through for Canuck, I think, is a little scary. It's a champion we've seen banned against him a few times.
I mean, yeah, we have seen it banned him against him a few times, and also, interestingly enough, I don't know, I'm not like convinced on the like the one thing. My problem at my MB draft, I guess, is just like I'm not too convinced on like the Tahm Kench pick specifically, because I feel like this is all like it already is kind of like a not easy game for Tahm Kench to pick. I actually would have liked an enchanter to match the Soraka as opposed to another engaged champion or a semi. I guess I mean Tahm Kench is not really engaged, as he more is just peel. As it looks like that they are gonna like opt into taking Set and Mundo, so it's probably a Mundo in the jungle and Echo mid.
Yeah, this is Albert's Inferno is one of the few teams who I feel like truly can flex the Echo between jungle and mid and makes really good use of it. So it's fun to see him do it here. And now Blake needs to figure out what he's going to pick. And oh my god, it's the freaking Smolder top.
It's the Smolder top. I mean, it's time to stack. It's time to make the game very unfun for everyone else who wants to play. You may have had fun. You've had your fun. However, it is time for me to have fun. So Blake going to be utilizing this Smolder, and the clock will tick down more and more again. And also, I think an important part of this game is that even though like Caitlyn like actually has a really really good game, I don't think it's that easy. I think that getting Azir shoved like can happen very easily if you're not careful. Like your E isn't up, Poppy can actually engage very easily onto you. It's not as simple as it looks, and also Jinx is actually a very good champion into Caitlyn due to the fact like that she can like get like that increased range, and also just walk around her traps for the most part with that increased move speed if she does get a takedown in a fight possibly, and also just has like a much higher DPS in a fight if she does get a takedown overall.
Yeah, I think it's surprising that the Caitlyn was picked into the Jinx. It's not considered a very good matchup conventionally. Tahm Kench does get a lot of value here. I know it is going to be a little hard for him to play the game, and Set obviously is going to get a lot of value out of having a Tahm Kench on the other team, but his ability to gobble up any of these three, like super Azir probably isn't going to build that squishy, and neither is Blake on the Smolder, but either of them are in big trouble if they get burst down, and being able to bail someone out from either a Caitlyn or an Echo who has a lot of kind of predictable damage is very valuable, and we know that PB is a fantastic Kench, so I'm not super worried for his ability to play this game well, and Jinx Kench is something that this bot lane duo has played a bunch of times, and they always execute really well on it. If anything, I'm more concerned about the Archived versus Rift matchup than I am how well PP is going to perform on the Kench. Soraka is able to cancel his tunnel, and maybe if Draco plays it really well, would be able to stop the Gobble from coming through. The Devour. But I do trust PB on this pick, and it's very conventional. It's the early game jungle plus scaling everywhere else to kind of make sure that they have some easy play early in the game to get things going with the Poppy. And then if they're able to transition through like the first 25-30 minutes, I think the game should just be all theirs. They definitely have the tools to take down the Mundo.
Yeah, they definitely do have the tools to take down the Mundo, and not only that, but I think that even though I think that a lot of damage from Albert's Inferno's comp is actually front loaded in team fights. And what I mean by that is that a lot of their damage actually comes into like the first like rotation of their spells, like the set R into like the echo into the echo spell rotation like combo. And also like the Caitlyn also like is gonna generally like have like normally like you're gonna try to like have like a headshot charged up in a fight like before you fight. So a lot of that damage like that's gonna come out in the initial part of the fight is actually gonna be in the very beginning of the fight. But like they do have the Soraka to like help them sustain like throughout the team fight. But NYNB has a lot of damage, and it can be very like lethal if it does if the game like starts to get a bit later and NYNB like team comp like starts to scale.
Yeah, I think Echo and Caitlyn can rotate through quickly enough that I don't think I'm super concerned about the front loading of their damage, especially with Soraka helping to keep them alive, and Set and Mundo are going to be really good distractions for all the damage. What I'm really going to have to keep my eye on in these fights is how well Poppy can play the game. If Carrot's able to find basically a meaningful ultimate in any of these fights, it just solidifies the win for them, because Kench and Azir can then immediately follow up on the remaining members, and it's going to be really hard for them to run once some of their members are taken away by the Poppy. And as soon as Jinx finds a kill, she's just able to wipe everyone else off. So it makes it really tricky for the members that got knocked away to re-engage. So if they're able to stop the Poppy from getting effective ultimates, I think it puts them in a really good position to win the game. And I think so much weight of this game is going to be on Psycho Carrot to have a good game, even though the rest of the players who are on the carries have to have not necessarily mechanically difficult. Azir is mechanically difficult, but Jinx and Smolder are going to need to position super well to have a lot of value, especially with Echo there. Tom Kench is able to bail out one of them, but not everyone at once. But my eyes are going to be on Carrot to be able to find good angles with the stuns, stop the Echo dashes, and knock people out of the fights with the ultimate.
I completely agree with just positioning. I think the game in general, this whole game is going to be positioning better than your enemy in the team fight. You have to position correctly for the side MLB, because you don't want the set just dropping a very high health Poppy or Tom Kench right onto your carries, and then following up with the E stun. And you also don't want to position incorrectly as a Caitlyn, be way too far up and then just get caught out by an Azir or a Poppy CC chain, and just get taken down before the fight ever kicks off. It is I think it is a lot about just playing in certain spots correctly for this game specifically.
I expect this game to probably go pretty late. I'd expect a 35-38 minute game here at least. But I think if the New York Nutbusters are able to win a team fight, I think they can just wipe. Jinx does so good once she starts getting kills and destroying towers. And I think they will have the damage with the Azir Smolder Jinx to take out the Mundo in late game. Albert's Inferno is going to need to win quick if they want to win, and early kills on the Caitlyn is going to be the best way to do that. Echo, I think, is going to have a much trickier game as it goes on, which I think means that NYNB drafted correctly, given that Echo was the first pick. A lot of pressure is being put on Omar this game.
Yeah, I think a lot of pressure is put on Omar. I mean, he probably has the hardest job at anyone on Albert's. He has to be able to find the backline, find the Jinx, find the Azir. There are a lot of tools also to keep him out, and there are a lot of tools that can keep the person he's going on to safe. They have Tom Kench Devour. They have Poppy W to prevent him from even doing even phase diving to begin with. Smolder can Smolder and Azir both have mobility to get themselves to safety and get themselves away. Jinx has traps as well, which can be very lethal if like he just accidentally like walks into them. So very difficult game for him, and it's gonna be very interesting to see like how he like tries to like overcome it.
Yeah, I wonder if Carrot will be able to get any early invades done, although if I know anything about how the comms work with this set of people, Carrot is calling for an invade and Blake and PB are yelling at him to absolutely not do that under any circumstances, so I don't expect to see anything happen.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly enough, you are seeing like this early pinks coming out. But I mean, interestingly enough, both mid laners are actually opting in to not take TP, taking both taking combat summoners. I'm a pretty big fan. I think that taking combat summoners in this game is pretty intelligent. Azir's good job taking exhaust. Like, the only real way you can like get in trouble is if like you give like early pressure to like an Echo who has ignite. Echo like taking ignite's pretty good. Like you're already like you generally get the like lane like pretty fast as a champion. Outside, but nothing too interesting. As I think that for mid lane specifically, this a matchup. Generally, what you want to do as Azir is it already is critical as Azir that like kind of like put your soldiers in like areas where you want to deny your enemy from like access. But against Echo, it's even like more important due to just how easy it is for him to get onto you. Like with like the E like Q combo, like electric proc, like just a lot of times it's very easy to win like those very early trades as Echo. And it looks like that we already like are starting to see it as Omar getting a really good amount of damage onto Daniel. As how he is walking through like an area where he can also just take a lot of damage. He might be looking for something here. Oh, he doesn't get. Oh, I think he tried to have like the timeline to pull back through his ear there, but he just mistimed it and burns the ignite, but also gets exhausted. However, Daniel having to burn flash at the end of that, but good kill coming out from Daniel in the early stages of this game.
Not forced out there with what we saw going on top lane. I think the pressure is on the actually all three lanes because they're playing into super scaling from the side of NYNB, and the fact that they're getting behind early is a big deal. Just summoner spells for the top lane, but a whole kill going down to the mid lane is very impactful. If Azir gets that extra damage, the range versus melee is going to become a huge factor going forward in the lane.
Yeah, I think a really critical part of that is like Omar actually won like that initial like trade. Like he didn't really need to do anything complicated, and I think he just overcomplicated like the trade. Like he got the winning trade. He could have simply just walked towards like the river, just got out of there. Didn't really need to do anything extra, but tried to do something extra and got punished for it.
Hey, but that would have been awesome if he did.
Yeah, but hold on a second. Like
That's
sometimes in life you have to flip flop. So I do empathize.
Yeah,
with
they have a game to lose.
Sometimes, I mean, like, yeah, like, it is kind of interesting, like, you're playing a game, and, like, you're, like, 0 and, like, 5, and you're like, guys, like, but you're up one game, so, you're like, guys, like, we're just trying to keep things interesting.
Yeah. Fortunately for Omar, he's not actually 0-5 yet, so...
Yeah, not 0-5, not yet. Enough.
Because they're playing the flip scaling, I don't think these early advantages are going to instantly cook the game for them. I think if NYNB had given up a couple kills at this point in the game, it could be really tough. Like the breakpoint you always look for in Caitlyn games is if she's able to get a kill before 6, that almost guarantees her a very strong game until the mid game. And if she's able to get a couple
bot here as he does pop the W for the move speed, trying to get onto him. And a nice trade coming out from the mid lane. Daniel getting a lot of pressure in this early mid lane as Albert is in the area and tries to pair it. I think that he could have maybe just played it that a tiny bit slower, but he gets found out and caught out as Omar nearly getting taken down, but Daniel not having flash to follow to secure the kill.
And that was our first time getting to see that Tom Kemp Soraka interaction that we're going to see a bunch of times this game. As soon as PB goes for the engage, she's going to drop silence down, and I think if they play around it correctly, that could go to hurt the Soraka, especially if the Soraka has to walk forward to hit the silence as the range on the W increases.
Going forward, popping the ignite actually. Blake in a bit of trouble having to burn his flash. Good pressure coming out from Canuck. Able to get that major spell from Blake.
Yeah, if Blake didn't run out of mana, there might have been a solo kill angle for him there, but he's happy to live, has the TP to just get back. His flash is going to be up way after Canucks. It should matter a lot.
Albert does get spotted out on the ward, and Daniel actually able to take away the big raptor, so making Albert's invade not as profitable as he would have liked it to be.
And that is still farm denied from Psycho Carrot, but he doesn't seem to care too much. He's just going to go for this early dragon, which is going to be completely uncontested. They are trying to 3-man Blake, who is flashless, so this should be a guaranteed kill onto the Smolder in exchange for the dragon.
Three members show up, and it's time for Blake actually to be punished for his sins, and he is, as Albert's going to be picking up that kill. Meanwhile, however, Drake going to be going over to the side of New York Nutbusters, so to beat up over that small hiccup in the top side. As so far looking relatively traded. Looking at the hand, this goes in, but a small standoff on the bot side. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you're gonna see Canuck. I mean, he's opting into like the swiftness boots, you know, trying to be able to keep the trade relatively even. As Omar going in for something, I'm not sure if he wants to find it, as he is just taking a lot of damage in these trades. There's his here, as getting a nice stun actually onto Blake. As phase rush, however, is popping Blake, so he's able to get himself to safety. And still able to
I wasn't watching cooldown on Azir there, but I wonder if he had a potential play for his ultimate. But I think with Echo's ultimate, or with Echo's flash available, it's a little question.
Psycho Carrot is going here, tries to find a stun onto Draco, doesn't find it, and he might be just going down himself. No, the Devour from Plain Bagel. Very clutch to keep Psycho Carrot alive from a small error. As the exhaust is getting burned down onto Albert here, as Daniel is like pushing his soldiers more and more forward to try and get some damage off and keep himself safe against the Mundo, but Albert not really investing anything into that skirmish. As he didn't cancel on his base, and Omar maybe looking for something here mid, not able to find anything. But doesn't have a range of his Q. Does hit the Q though. And Psycho Carrot just really missing that stun onto the Soraka. I don't really want to see it. Looking for something here. Omar is caught out, but he actually does have the stun, which connects onto both of them, stunning both Psycho Carrot and Daniel. So that play is dead in the water before anything can even really kick off. Really nice W from the side of Omar, timing it and just getting himself to safety easily without having to invest anything at all.
Yeah, Omar played that as perfectly as he could have asked for.
Looks like that.
Objective control from Psycho Carrot's been fantastic so far this game.
Michael Williams in here as he's gonna pull out the showstopper, but Mom comes over the top, and Canuck, just barely missing it as the wish comes through, which is gonna heal him, but it's just not gonna be enough. And what a big investment from the side of Albert's Inferno, but not getting taken down. However, the Void Grubs are slain. A 2-for-1 of Void Grubs handed over to the side of New York Nutbusters, as looks like that Omar is going in and going forward, looking for Blake. Can he find him? He needs the phase dive. Draco healing everyone that she can. Blake going to be going down, but Albert is quite strong. Lift hits the Emperor's Divide onto the Mundo, but the Mundo still has ulti at the end of all of it, and it looks like the fight's continuing with the Omega Death Rocket. Not going to find anyone that you'd want it to find, as Draco continuing to be a nuisance in these fights, as they're not able to, as New York Nutbusters is not able to really find anything of value for kill. Going over to Albert's Inferno.
Yeah, that's Blake's second death, and unfortunately for him, PB had to be the one to get the kill there. He wasn't able to get in range and stack on the set at all, which is not what you want to see for the Smolder.
Yeah, not what you want to see at all. these dragons. I think that as long as like NYNB is able to secure these drakes, I think they actually find themselves in a fine spot in this game. They already have the scaling team comp. Getting more of these objectives early is gonna start like helping them start to develop like their team comp even more, as it is going to get quite scary for the side out. You can't get any early pressure on these objectives, and almost going for really aggressive early trade. Doesn't really find anything, as it looks like the 3 members are surrounding him on the side, and the gets set by Psycho Carrot, but he's going to have to burn the Chrono Break, as I'm not sure if Omar can get himself to safety. It looks like yes he can. He should be able to just phase dive and get himself to the blast count and get himself out of there.
Yeah, Daniel missing with the soldiers. I'm not sure if it was he just didn't have the range or if he aimed it incorrectly there, but
going for the kill here, but the wish coming through, keeping the Canuck alive in case of any mishaps. As a super mega death rocket's finding its way and might find Canuck. No, barely misses him.
As NYNB, you're super happy with this game state, though. You're even in gold, and you are going to outscale so hard. And you have objectives, an advantage. You didn't get all 3 grubs, but I think you can live with it. The next dragon is going to be up, and it looks like they have first rotation towards it.
First rotation, Caught out here. Albert stepping forward. Hard to see, but Psycho Carrot critically getting rooted by the Soraka E. Or I think that actually was I don't think it was Soraka. I think it was a Caitlyn trap that he stepped onto, and Devour having to get invested actually for that. As Daniel all alone, but however he's just gonna be getting himself to safety, and actually the Drake looks like it's going to be secured from the side of Albert's Inferno, as Psycho Carrot actually knocking away Albert. This Drake is not as simple as one would think, as Omar maybe looking for something. Psycho Carrot just being a psychotic person, just going in for the Drake. There's no way he's going to be able to get that with the Soraka silence there. What?
I love that play. It's never ever going to work, but I love that he goes for it. It makes
I mean, I understand like trying to lift his like wing safe, but that was quite crazy. As
I mean, almost all the steps fell into place. He got the knock away on the jungler. I think he would have hoped that he got more than just the jungler, but then he goes in, and almost is a big stretch, but I'll say he almost got the steal.
I mean, what could have been would have been. As the damage actually coming out here. And the heal's gonna get burned, as it looks like they might want to chase for a fight here, but I'm not sure if you really want to take this fight. It's archived already so low, and it looks like they're like, you know, just brawling up here in the river, but nothing really is gonna happen as a result of it. And if you are the side of Alberts, you are quite happy with this game state. I mean, you were able to actually pick up a Drake. Oh, cancel not coming through from the side of playing Bagel as we do enter a pause. And it looks like that Blake does need to help his dog. And I think that the pause should be ending relatively shortly. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, Spectator's always weird with when it sends the messages through. Blake dog is probably #1 reason for pauses this season so far.
I mean, sometimes you gotta help. Like, sometimes you gotta let the dog out.
For real.
Just like that. Oh, not as it's like Blake's just stepping away from that, using the phase rush movement speed to dodge away from those abilities from the set. Really well done. As Omar is waiting. I'm not sure if Blake knows he is, but it looks like that the Spectator is froze for a second. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, if you hit backspace, usually that clears it up. It usually hangs about like 30 seconds after a pause.
Looks like we are back in the game. Yeah. Thank you. We are back in the game. Daniel is moving up. And it looks, or actually, I guess he's not moving up. So Omar waiting around. I'm not sure if you want to wait around much more long. And yes, there's the flashing gate from the side of Canuck. And Omar is going in, trying to dive on the Blake, trying to take him down, but no. flash and flap away with the mom healing on top keeps Blake alive. And that play from the side of Albert's Inferno getting stuffed by Blake. As it looks like that Psycho Care has decided that it's his turn. As Canuck in the game, they're going to E4. Ulti's going to come through as they both him and Blake are going to march forward, but the wish gets burned, and Omar has arrived, and Blake's going to be going down immediately. As it looks like that Omar might be getting taken down next, but now he should be able to get himself to safety. As Psycho Carrot, not very long for the world. The damage from but actually getting a kill back because Omar actually notably dropping the aggro, I think, a second too soon. I think he could have probably taken a bit more damage as PB has arrived. And it looks like he's going to be able to find anything except the wave. He should be able to hold that just fine for now.
Check this out.
Really good draw, actually. He canceling and keeping his base from Omar. That Omar would like. As Daniel actually being able to get to level 11 quite easily. As a play coming in here from the side of Rift. Oh, really nice. Almost really well done. He just get the barrier out, but he didn't get the headshot auto in right before he hit the ace in the hole. I think if he hit it, I think Archive actually might have gone down there, but a really nice try from Rift. Now he does have to invest the flash in that point, so not as all that we could have hoped. Strikebreaker, but we're going to be able to find anything onto Blake there.
Albert could be in trouble here, but I mean, with Omar and not in the area, I think this is a pretty much doomed fight.
Which is going to get burned.
Bail out Blake there. I think it could be huge.
It could be, but Blake actually getting himself out to safety with the Devour from the side of PB. He's also getting put onto Canuck, and it looks like that they've actually decided that it's time for Rift to go down. But no, the healing is so much, and where is the grievous wounds when you need it? Because it's not here. A great play actually coming up from Omar. Actually, is able to stun Daniel on the end of it. Daniel going to have to dash his way to safety along with the side of PB. It looks like that they should be able to keep themselves safe, but however, 2 kills going over to the side of Albert's Inferno.
Yeah, super unfortunate for NYNB there that their heal kill was on the one member who wasn't in the fight. Daniel was just too far on the outside of it and wasn't able to get much usage out of it.
Yeah, not much usage at all. I can't speak, excuse me.
Neither of us can say it.
But just that Rift mind control here, but unfortunately Plain Bagel decides that it's actually more important to tongue lash the melee minion, as nothing really coming out there. But Archive gave himself safety away from Canuck. Was looking around looking for him. And you do see, like, more of that like heal cut purchase, as this game is starting to look a little dicey with the Soraka and Mundu healing. Just regenerating almost all their health bars. And this Mega Death Rocket just randomly finds Draco! A great snipe from the side of Archive, and now you don't have the Soraka healing. Psycho Carrot trying to keep himself alive, flashing away, but in comes PB, and the New York Nutbusters have arrived. But it looks like that Omar should be able to give himself away along with Albert, as they do keep themselves safe, but in goes Lift, and he's actually able to shove over Omar, but doesn't get the Caitlyn, and in comes the stun from the side, but here's the Devour, as Lift is devoured and kept safe. A really nice try for him, but the Caitlyn doesn't get quite over the wall with that Emperor's Divide, but Omar going in, looking for something. Yes, he finds him, as more healing is coming down, and this game is looking just all in all a bit more dangerous, as the Chrono Break does burn, but Omar just dashes forward, going in, face dive on the top, gets the shield from the W, stays alive, as Albert is walking down Archived, and he's not going to live, as Rift is going to pick up the kill onto PB. Oh, complete disaster class from the side of New York Nutbusters. Nothing there went really right.
And yeah, that whole sequence just breaks your heart as a player on New York Nutbusters. I think it's going to be basically impossible for them to get back into this game if Alberts keeps their foot on the gas here. They get the pick to start it off from Archive. Carrot misses the steal, and at that point, you just have to leave because you're just pushing back into their team. The respawns are coming through, but they just keep forcing the fight, and they can't find anything. a couple people drop down low, but not low enough for anything to work out. And Omar saving himself with a W shield and just staying alive through all of that, and realizing that PB had already burned the ultimate earlier in the fight, just collapses onto the target, even though he was right next to the Kench and able to find Lift there, and it just... Yeah, it's just
taking a fight, but the Smolder has stacked up. Really nice flash from the side of Blake, predicting the flash W from Canuck, and Canuck going to be taken down. No shield left in the pocket, and he's going to be taken down. And Draco actually in a really weird circumstance as Carrot, however, the silence coming through and rooting Carrot down. And Albert is here as well, but you have no friends around here. The ultimate going to have to be burned from the side of Albert as he is keeping himself alive, but maybe New York Nuppers is overstay their welcome as Omar and Rift have arrived at the fight. Blake actually getting flashed on the Devourer coming through, but PB getting nuked by Omar as he takes down both PB and Blake. A double kill going over to him. Way too aggressive and too much of an overstay from the side of New York Numbusters. I think once you get the kill on Canuck, I think you can call the play off. It's pretty aggressive. And Lift going in for the double sweep. He does find it, but he may have just betrayed his teammate. And no, actually, as Omar's taken down because he had no more get out of jail free cards. As Lift actually getting 2 kills. Really well played from him. And it looks like that Archived actually gets the reset, but being kept alive from Draco, and more this healing is just completely ridiculous. Super Mega Death Rocket doesn't connect onto anyone, but the Soraka Q does connect as long with the slow, and Canuck has arrived. He's looking for kills. He's going to be taking down Archive. He might look for Lift as the exhaust is put down onto him. It looks like that nothing's going to be taken yet as PB has actually returned to the fight, and this fight's just continuing to go. Why not? Let's keep the fight going. As it looks like this time it's Albert's Inferno that needs to retreat, as this time they have made the misstep. They have overplayed their hand as Blake is stepping forward, but Canucks is using the stride break to keep Blake slowed, and Albert is in trouble as Flip dashes in, and the previous moves is connected as PB flash forward, tongue lash, taking down Albert, shut down, going over to him.
Yeah, what an insane sequence. NYNB played that super well. Lift finding an insane shuffle, connecting on both targets, and Archive played that really well, but there were just a couple skill shots that if they had moved over just a little bit, I think that could have been so much better by both Blake and Archive. You could have gotten the 700 gold kill onto the Smolder, and if Archive had gotten resets, I think that fight goes very, very differently. But I think that gets you back into the game enough as NYNB, and it could look up for them. The next Dragon is going to be able to win, and I don't think either team's going to want to touch Baron for a while.
Yeah, I think the big thing about this fight is that the Azir is actually powerful now. Like Lift is quite, Daniel is quite strong. He should be able to start actually applying a decent amount of pressure, especially in these games, or especially in these fights. Sorry, I said games, but he should be able to start applying a lot of pressure and damage in these fights. As it looks like he's going to slowly complete the Leandres, but Plain Bagel might cut out. No, he should be fine. So he is a very tanky catfish. But Albert's Inferno might get collapsed on here. And Psycho Carrot might get found out. But notably, the Azir does have flash, it does have ulti, and could commit at any point in time. I'm not sure if Daniel is looking for whenever that time is to go is. But the silence is burned actually, and it looks like the stun getting put down onto Omar and his team the enemy team not stepping forward, but the wish does come down. An actually nice stun actually to stun out the Tom Kench, and Omar keeping himself alive, but he does have the chrono break to return to the fight. He doesn't opt into using it, or actually doesn't have the chrono break. It was already burned as actually Albert goes down to Daniel on that fight. And now it looks like that Blake, however, was picked off in the side. And Daniel having to invest his ult and flash, so that tool is no longer available for side NYNB, but I think you really just need to play for this Draco, however, on a blinking health bar, as Canuck is trying to position to give his team an opportunity to do something here, as with no jungler, this fight is looking a bit dicey, as it looks like that the Echo is here, but Liv steps on a trap! You can't make a mistake like that, and Canuck goes in, and a disaster is happening exactly as we foresaw it, as the Tom Kench is brought right into the waiting arms of Canuck, who delivers him to the teammate, and Omar getting a satisfying double kill in the end of that, a triple kill to him. Oh man, that's just such a mistake from Daniel there. I mean, you can't just walk onto a Caitlyn trap like that. That's just a critical error, and just it looks like it might even cost them this Drake and possibly the game.
Yeah, it's like every advantage that NYNB gets, it feels like they end up losing it. But I don't know. I mean, with the scaling that they have, I think they're never super far out of this game. the problem was if they got super shut out earlier in the game, and I think 6K is definitely something you can come back from. And I also don't think Mountain Soul is the worst thing in the world for them to have to give over this game.
I think that, you know, shout out to Omar though. I mean, like, he's actually playing these fights really well. He's able to create. He's actually bought a lot of time and a lot of space because I mean, for the entire like beginning portion of like, you know, the initial fight, like the Poppy was completely like, you know, tied up with Omar basically. I mean, I think that the big mistake from NYNB was actually just not following up on the Poppy like CC, like just getting him to like burn ult like just a bit earlier and maybe like even like try to like take him down. And he did get knocked away, but he already had like burned like the majority of his spells. Like he had no ulti, he had no IT, he had already like burned like all his spells, and then he gets knocked away. So he actually gets knocked away to safety by Psycho Care, and he actually looks like Psycho Care might get found out here, as an early fight might be breaking out, as Albert is here, but it doesn't look like they are gonna elect the chase.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was trying to hint at earlier in the cast. If Carrot doesn't have good ultimates, this team is really going to start.
Lift actually getting engaged on here. Canuck getting a nice solo onto Daniel, and him getting taken down.
Yeah, really well played from Canuck there. He's been using his flash W's very effectively this game. And that one seems to be the one that paid off. Normally it resulted in Blake having to perform insane dodges, but Lift just not having anything to do with that. Snatch is going to be really hard, but if Canuck falls down the floor, it is going to be rough.
Wish is going to get
ultimate burned already.
Yeah, Wish is already, the Wish is already gone, and now everything's just looking a bit more dicey. I mean, Canuck, I think that was a really aggressive like way. I mean, they were just hitting Baron. I think that was fine. I don't think he really needed to walk for anything there. I mean, he didn't have a showstopper available, so there's nothing that really was gonna like come of that. I feel like, I mean, the most you can do is like pull them back, but they're just gonna walk away, and they do. Psychic Carrot might be looking for another psychotic play. The flank actually option is here, as he actually does find his son onto Draco critically, and that's going to be the Soraka taken down. A mistake from the side of Draco. And the side of Albert's Inferno not positioning correctly against this Poppy flank. That's always lethal. And it looks like that might just be the Baron actually. As with the Soraka down.
And dropping double sums there is so crushing. I think at that point you know you're just going to die. You got to make sure you keep them for the next fight. I think they're going to still have a decent goal through this match. But Blake walking up really far here.
Albert popping his ultimate, but it looks like that Liv on the other side. I think Liv's actually not in the right spot that you need the damage to be, but the Smolder has finally scaled, and there's the damage coming in from that side, and it looks like it's just going to be a clean, nice little sleep, except that Archive does fall down, but that should be the Baron over to NYNB.
Yeah, I mean, Blake had gotten the threshold for the execute at about 19 minutes. We saw in the game 4 in the Rift Shark series that Evan didn't get it until nearly 30, and you're seeing how much that pays off here. He's already had 8 minutes on top of that to just stack up and become even stronger. He's dealing so much damage in these fights. And because he has Overlord's Blood Mail, you can't really kill him either. I feel like Omar got baited by that, and he really went for the play, but just didn't find it. Look how much damage he's doing. Look at the bruiser build. It's so irritating at this point.
So irritating.
Yeah, you just can't get killed. You can't get killed.
This is actually, I mean, Blake really is trying to make a statement that he is the villain in this game, and it looks like he is confirming what everyone already knew, that he is a very villainous person.
And he's getting Mortal Reminder too. He's like, I am done relying on Daniel to apply my heal cut. 3 of them have it. I mean, you kind of need it in this game, but my god, that is a hell ton of heal cut.
Yeah, that's a lot of heal cut. I'm not sure if you really needed this much, but
I think you need 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see it, because if you do lose, if the fight's split or you lose someone, then it becomes a bit difficult. But constantly applying, I mean, they have the Mundo, Soraka as well. You also
all the 3 other heal cut members die, and you need more. I think PD should honestly just put him too.
Actually, yeah, I mean, honestly, why not? It'd be nice to see a Merle compound pinch. But PD trying to get rid of these traps, and Rip actually doing a good job of getting that damage out, but notably knocks away Omar, but however he does have the counter break to rejoin the fight. He chooses not to use it as the smite actually does come down and the soul is claimed from the side of Albert's Inferno. And Archive actually stepping a bit too far forward. The Tower of Power gonna have to get invested as Omar's actually in a bit of a tricky situation here himself, as he's gonna get taken down by Blake, as it looks like that the fight is being won from the side. But a huge haymaker landing onto Lift, and it looks like that 3 members of Albert's Inferno is left, and it might not be that, and they might not be living that much longer, as the Smolder is getting a triple kill, and Blake is saying, you know what, I'm playing Smolder, I'm in creative mode, I want to win the game, time has come. And there it is. It's an ace for the side of New York Nutbusters. All that you could ever dream of. And man, oh man.
Yeah, they've failed. The Tom Kent is getting so much value. They have to commit so much of the Echo to try and get on top of these champions, and then PB just presses one button and stops the whole thing. It's kind of disgusting. They've basically cut down the gold lead to nothing at this point. Once they get these 2 turrets. And NYNB is just playing so well, and Blake is just demonstrating exactly why you should ban this Smolder. But the good news for Inferno is that we probably won't have to do that next game because it will be Fearless ban.
And it is good, you know. We're happy. I am very happy that the Smolder will not be seen next game, because it looks like that this is a very, very balanced and well-tuned way of playing League of Legends, from what I can tell from the Smolder. I mean, he kind of like, you know, he was down like, you know, in lane, but guess what? You didn't stop him. So now you do unfortunately have a much more difficult game to play for Albert's Inferno. And however, the game isn't completely over. I don't think it's unplayable. I mean, they do have the Mountain Soul to play around now, which is a nice buff to their team. But it's not going to get much easier from here on out, as the Smolder with over 3k health is going to be a bit of a nuisance. And Liv aggressively dashing in actually onto Albert, but I think he actually is allowed to do that because this here has gone a lot stronger so far.
Yeah, Echo's still up items, but I don't think it's necessarily in any meaningful way here. I think the Elder does have a lot to dictate this game, and NYNB can form the pressure on it and get it. I think it's just wraps, but I think this might be Inferno's last opportunity. I think they need to be able to capitalize on the Elder, maybe get the Baron and use the Baron buff to get more pressure for the Elder. They are just going to need a lucky fight at this point because the outscaling has definitely happened. The fact that the gold is so close actually means that NYNB is just favored. I don't think the soul matters. I don't think the gold lead actually matters anymore at this point. The 4 heavy scaling from NYNB is still impactful.
Not going for a really aggressive play. Actually almost getting a kill onto Blake there. It looks like that they are going to be able to keep their man alive and keep him safe, as the Smolder getting brought down to, you know, very low HP bar. But however, the Smolder also does happen to have over 3k health, so you're just going to need a bit more damage than that to kill him. And I think Canuck actually did honestly play that as well as he could have to try to get a kill back, but it's not really going to matter in the end, as Canuck is not. So at this point in the game, I think for Alberts, I think we just got to try to play this a bit more slow, and if we let NYNB engage into you as they are doing now, but Albert doesn't make a ton of damage. Psycho Care, maybe looking for something here, maybe looking for a stun, and yes, another stun onto Draco. Draco's not going to live much longer, but however, she does have the flash to get herself to safety, but that's a key summoner burned from the Soraka, and Locket also getting burned to keep himself alive, but no! Actually, Albert getting taken out by the Super Mega Death Rocket as the silence does come through, and so does the root from the Soraka E, but it's not enough as NYNB is starting to push down the side. And Omar still pushing top lane, but not sure if he wants to continue doing that, as it looks like Canuck is just looking for a fight here. He does hit the showstopper, and it looks like he's looking for a W, but Blake flashes away from it, and Canuck doesn't have flash to follow as the Wish gets burned, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to be kept alive. And however, yes, it is because the Soraka healing is still huge, but Lift coming in for the Emperor's Divide, a nice big sweep, and Rift is actually on the backside of this in the incorrect spot, because he's actually just pinned and stunned immediately. And that should be it, as that should be all she wrote, as there are members. However, everyone is low except for the Tom Kent, and he doesn't have Feast, but Lift notably does have Exhaust, so he should be able to stop any shenanigans coming in here from Omar. And it looks like that NYNB should be playing to do something safe, but no, they don't do anything safe at all. They go in as in comes the exhaust. Actually is infected. Is actually he's on Albert, but he's going to be taken down because the Smolder is just a fair and balanced champion, and that's how it's just going to go. You can't really do anything because the person in creative mode dictates how the game's going to get played. But Carrot actually getting picked off on the end of it, and the Chrono Break is going to get burned, but it doesn't look like that Omar's going to be able to hold this at all. No, and maybe he is. Actually, maybe he will hold this all. As actually the Time Runner come back and actually takes down Daniel, a quadra kill for the Echo. Can he make it a penta? Maybe he can. Yes, he does. The silence comes through for the side of Draco. It's actually a stand. It's actually a hold. It's actually Albert's Inferno with Omar and Rift. You ugly thieving, conniving fool, stealing away that penta. How dare you, Rift? As it looks like that is going to be a reverse ace from their side. It looks like that Baron's going to be coming up soon, and they might take it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that actually stops them from losing the game. That was a very impressive quadra kill. I am wondering how much of a big deal it is going to be. Yeah, I mean, really well played, Omar there. I cannot believe he was dropping that. The Tom Kent is not posed a threat to anybody, just let Echo hit him until he dies. But, I think the question is really, like, how affected is NYNB going to be by the fact that all of their comfort champions are going to be taken away for next game? I mean, given how this season's going, I guess you can't rule it out, because I did exactly call that they wanted to get the Baron and then use that to secure them the Elder, and they're kind of moving towards that. But I still favor them in a full-on 5v5. But they're all basically 0 HP, and they have an Echo on top of them. It can get really tough, but Echo won't even have Hourglass for this fight, and Azir will, which is very important. But, I don't know. Really fun stuff from Omar. He's having a great game here. Unfortunately, the rest of his team is not.
I think at this point of the game, I think that if you're Albert, I think you just need to start hitting this Elder. It's like, yes, they are going to start hitting the Elder. As it looks like that a fight is brewing here near the Elder Pit, as more and more members start to arrive from both sides. Canuck is here on the flank, maybe looking for something. No, Strikebreaker doesn't find anyone at all. The Elder is burning down, and it is slain. Baron or Elder, and that with Baron and Elder, maybe Albert's Inferno can do something. We saw a couple shenanigans in a series a while ago, but nothing really came of it, as it looks like that Albert's Inferno is just going to be taking this mid wave and just going to be trying to march down and win the game. Canuck on a base, but does have the TP to rejoin his team.
Yep, the wave here from the wave clear from NYNB is so good. I think they should just be able to sustain this.
They should be able to sustain this.
I could be wrong though.
With Elder and Baron, maybe Albert's Inferno can get something done here. It is a very risky game, as slowly but surely Rift is actually rejoining this team, and it looks like that Canuck actually had to go kill the Krugs to go maybe get enough gold to purchase an item, and the set isn't here yet. Omar, it's a bit too early, but the knock is actually fine, as it looks like that. However, the Soraka ult and the Moon ult are both going to be burned early on, but the Smolder does so much damage. But Canucks with a great showstopper, a triple stun from him, but they're going to actually all get away with their own summoners themselves and NYNB, as it looks like that they might be able to break the game open here. I'm not quite sure if they can do it yet. I think that they needed to start anything, that they need to get this bot inhibitor as the Azir turret is placed, and this Dragon is so lethal to Albert's Inferno. They actually might as well have an Elder on themselves. This looks like that Psycho Carrot, maybe looking for a flank, maybe looking for everything that he could ever want, and nothing really happening. However, Chunk is able to zone him off, and it looks like that the Albert's Inferno might just have to be happy with taking down triple inhibs, but it just doesn't seem to be enough, as looks like more and more everything in this game is looking a bit more scary and a bit more suspicious, as the healing is good from Draco, but it's also costing so much of her own HP bar. I'd be concerned about a Smolder like Q at the end of this, and however the minions are starting to pour into the base of NYNB, but as you said, Dean, the wave clear is so good, and the turret actually coming back up, that's critical for this fight. And I think that if you're Albert's Inferno, you need to look now. You need to do something. Look for anything. Can there be an engage? The Sostop is on cooldown, and Cycle Carrot dashes in, but nothing's going to be found. Omar looking for something maybe here, but the turrets are being sieged down, and it's just going to be another standoff with the Baron buff critically falling off to the side of Albert's Inferno. They might just have to back off here.
Yeah, I mean, if Inferno needs to, if they are winning the game, they need to do it now, and it really looks like they've missed their chance. Losing the Baron waves really makes the way clear. Either the Canuck is
Word. And it looks like now there's going to be a mom coming through, but the Archive actually critically being kept alive, and it's time, gentlemen, to hit the Nexus. It's time to slay the dragon, and please get us out of this game. Come on, Alberts Inferno. They do it. They actually stop Blake's villainy in the end of it all, and there it is, a win for Alberts Inferno, and Blake stopped in his tracks, as it is going to be a 2-0 from Alberts Inferno. NYNB not actually able to keep them out of it. And at the end of the game, we're seeing it almost 90,000 damage on the Smolder alone. The next person in damage is 46k from the Caitlyn. Oh my god.
Yeah, and I mean, I really was a believer that NYB was going to pull that back, but just not able to. They fought that so hard, but that's a classic example of just getting greedy for the end. They had the scaling advantage there. They just did not need to keep forcing at the Nexus there. And Omar, super clean job, deserved the penta there. Did not end up getting it, but I mean that's as obvious as an MVP as I think you've ever seen. So
yeah, I think that's obvious.
That would be
MVP as you've ever seen. I'm not sure.
I'm actually gonna hijack the stream real quick so that we can get the end of 1T and PT stream. If you want to do an interviews for like a couple minutes, and then I'll flip over.
Okay. Can we get? Hold on. I think for this interview, I'm hoping that we can
get Omar.
Yeah, let's get Omar in here. Or I'm not sure if Omar is. Actually, I don't have him. I'm not sure if you can. Actually, let's just. Him, right?
If they're off, then I think we can just kick it over to
so quick question.
There he is.
Do you guys just like hate Draco or something? Like, what's up with this?
What?
Bro, Draco was cracked that game. Draco was like a super crutch.
I mean, I don't disagree. I think this rocket healing was actually very clutch. I think there was a lot of good wishes. But I think that like the game-saving play was actually your echo play at like, you know, the Nexus that actually did end up saving the game in the end of it.
Yeah, fair, I guess. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, it was stressful. I think Albert was yelling at me in chat. That was fun. We won. I don't know. Draco, I see you. I don't know. I really thought it was cooked at the end there. Because I ran out of mana. But I think Soraka and Caitlyn managed to just kind of kill the Nexus before our team was wiped. That Azir and Smolder and Jinx clear was ridiculous. I mean, there were like 3 waves crashing and they kept clearing it.
Yeah, I think the wave clear was like insane. But I think that critically at the end there, I think Canuck just finally, you know, just decided like, you know, just to like send it along with you as well. Like just sending it there at the end. I think that actually ended up just winning you the game. I mean, you guys still have the Elder. Like, you know, it was very like scary for NYNB to play. But even like with the Baron dropping, I actually did think that was a really good decision for like you guys like just to go for the end there. I think like prolonging the game any more like longer would have been like a mistake. So really nice job there. I mean, how did you feel about like ending the game? I mean, like you already talked about it a bit, but like how, like, do you have anything else to say about it?
Yeah, so I'll tell you exactly what comms sounded like. We were going, hey, our Baron just ran out. We have 5 seconds left on Elder. We need to do something. And Canuck was like, bet, and then he flashed in them on that. Because our Elder had, I think, literally 5 seconds. So we figured we had to end it there, especially because their team has just been getting stronger the entire game. And it was like on a knife's edge. Honestly, if something had gone differently in that engage, like we very well could have been wiped. But Canuck sent it, and we managed to win. Also, I want to point out, whoever, I don't know who was piloting the Tom Kench, they saved the ADC from me twice. I'm kind of salty about that.
I mean, how did you feel about that?
Damn,
what about the Penta though? What about the Penta? Like, you know, that's all everyone can ever hope for.
I didn't get a Penta.
No, you were close though. I think you could have got it actually. The Caitlyn just did an auto.
Oh, I think, honest to God, the last thing any of us were thinking about was a penta at that moment. I think we were thinking, oh God, we don't want to have to do a third game.
I mean that's completely fair. That's completely yeah.
Also, I just want to say for everyone who hated in State of Scrims, you're mad. You're mad. Brewer was right. You're mad. Apari, catch me outside. Dean,
Wait.
find me.
I literally predicted you winning 2-1. I don't know what you're mad about.
Wow, 2-0, buddy. 2-0.
So true. Hey, you got real damn close to proving me right. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, but
Wait,
pretty hype.
we
It's
should
like
really wrap
3
this up.
games.
This other game is fucking fire. I need this stream.
Yeah. Go to the other game. I'm done.
I'm switching.
Have a good one, y'all.
now.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Let me.
All right.
Can I?
Let me know when you cut.
Ciao.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, oh, nice. The assets are just there for me. Okay.
Here, can you just stop streaming? I have it pulled up already.
Okay.
The
Okay.
assets.
I'll do it then. Yeah.
All right.